The Melbourne Declaration underpins the Australian curriculum with the goal that all young Australians become successful learners. The three dimensions of the Australian curriculum, learning areas, general capabilities, and cross-curriculum priorities, provide teachers with the flexibility to cater for the diversity of students' needs through differentiation and personalised learning. There are 4 steps that teachers can use to assist them to develop personalised learning plans using the Australian curriculum. For the first step, start with content appropriate to students' age and year level. The second step is to identify students' abilities and interests. Then for the third step, measure student achievement. And for the fourth, evaluate the impact of any resources and supports. In this illustration, teachers talk about how students' abilities and interests inform planning of age-appropriate learning area content. The teachers from the schools in this illustration share the importance of knowing as much as possible about their students.
We do plan in teams. Every class in the school is different, every individual student in the school is different, so there's a lot of collaboration talking between teachers who teach the same student and the LSAs as well, all of our support staff, that we're all very aware of what each child, where they're at, what they need, what they need to achieve to their potential. So if we're planning something, we also like to collaborate it in a way that keeps it consistent.
To make Year 8 geography relevant for my students, I first must really understand the learner and who they are, and then use that curriculum as a springboard to design activities to engage them, to also introduce concepts and some vocab around the activity that we're doing that's chosen specifically so it's motivating to them.
In this Year 1 class, the teacher draws on her knowledge of the students' cultural backgrounds in the lesson about narrative structure and the cultural differences in storytelling.
Okay, then we walk into the next hoop, and what do? Capital letter to start our next idea. And then a full stop to end that idea. Next one, capital letter, full stop, all right? So we're checking our punctuation as we go, all right? I build in opportunities for students to draw on their cultural knowledge through discussing stories and how stories are told in different cultures, that often stories are about animals in different cultures, and we've discussed that already when we've talked about stories in the past. We've talked about how different languages use what is the word for stories and what they mean in different languages. So we have covered that already, and this is the second part of that, which is the actual mapping and planning and writing of a story.
The teacher of this Year 8 science class uses different ability groupings to engage all learners in a task related to energy and energy transformation.
Some of the strategies that we use to cater for students with a diverse range of abilities, for the students who might struggle with the task, I tried to structure the room in a way that they were supported socially, so they were working in teams or groups, and I made sure that those students who would require that additional support did have someone who would be able to offer them ideas and sort of guide them through the process a little bit. As I'm aware of how different students will engage with the task, some of them are trial and error, some of them are thinking of situations in life that they can bring to the task, and as I'm moving around the room, I'm trying to tap into how are they engaging with the task when I'm asking questions. So the task for you guys is a little bit different. What I'm going to do for you is I've already made a set of blades very badly. Okay, these are inefficient. And what I want you to do is I want you to see if you can work out, firstly, why these blades are not behaving very well and not transforming much of the available energy. And I want you to see if you can come up with some improvements.
This teacher highlights the cognitive, personal and social benefits of developmental sequences of learning based on students' abilities and interests.
One of the really affirming things around the vision that we have for our students, for all of our students at Harrison, was a parent of a child with a diagnosed disability, and she said she's really hoping that her daughter is identified as the person that she is rather than the disability that she has, and that we talk about her strengths and her interests rather than talking about the difference and the disability that she has, and that fits with the idea of inclusion, giving all of our students an opportunity to start from success and to build their learning from a point of success, and the support that comes in to help them take that little step further.
Teachers' knowledge of their students guides them to select appropriate content and differentiate learning. In the next illustration, Standards, you will see how teachers use the Australian Curriculum Achievement Standards, or individual learning goals, to assess student progress. ACARA wishes to thank the school leaders, teachers, students and school communities for their contributions to this illustration.